Hi guys, welcome back for another one. Maverick and I are back again with some more roster reviews. A very special week because we got multiple of these videos coming out over the next couple of days, and I hope you guys enjoy. So with that said, Maverick, we got some light spenders to review today, both looking at Dark Dimension 3 and Dark Dimension 4 respectively for these players. We're going to start with the Dark Dimension 4 person right after the intro. So Maverick, are you ready?
Let's get to it.
All right, with that said, sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So our first roster review today is Ben Jarrell. He is currently struggling on Node 12 of Dark Dimension 4. He is working on getting his legendaries done in Dark Dimension 4, so we're going to help him with that. And we're just going to have Doom Raids in mind as the information that we give him. So without further ado, let's get into his roster. All right, we are in here on Ben Jarrell's roster. He definitely has 4 symbiotes done. Doc Ock is part of the legendary. Carnage is not there yet for Dark Dimension 4. So based on what you see, Maverick, obviously he's probably trying to farm alien spores for Carnage. What advice do you think you can give him to help him deal with Node 12? It is a very hard node to deal with no matter what. Anything you see here?
Honestly, it's just a grind.
Yeah.
I mean, until we get a cloak and a dagger, or if he really wanted to bring up multiple man to try to be a protector, that's an option. But at this point, he's already in the hardest node. It's not going to get any easier. It's just a grind fest.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. I mean, as someone who's been through it a couple times, I guess I've run through with symbiotes and non-symbiotes. Like I ran through with just the 3 symbiotes, and I ran through with Night Nurse and White Tiger. And I found that when you get down to that Emma position where Emma's dropped with all those high heavy hitters, I mean, in my personal experience, I'm going to use my experience. I can't say it equates to everybody, especially looking at his White Tiger. I don't think it's going to equate to him either because mine's a little bit more built than that. But I found that White Tiger and Night Nurse, because with those combos, she gets the extra turn meter and she goes first, and she does heavy amount of damage. That sometimes she's actually a good thing to have when you get to that stuck position, because you're going to do a burst of damage every single time right away before they start knocking your characters out. And then you have the core symbiotes doing their thing. But I don't think in his position that's a good advice. And I want to give a quick shout out here. So right now, I don't think there's much more we're going to be able to tell him about City. Like, I think he's doing the best that he can with what he has. And go ahead.
Let me just add something real quick. Yeah. So yes, once he gets through, I'm assuming this is his first run and he's going to need to go back through again.
Yeah. He
should have enough resources to finish off Carnage and do a full symbiote team.
Yeah.
But he also has a 7 red star Rhino that if he brought up to G15, that could really be a nice protector. I mean, I would not recommend Rhino normally. I just see a 7 red star one there, and I'm like, oh, well, that one theoretically could be really good as a tank.
Yeah, and if anyone's out there getting ready to go in the DD4, or if maybe you're a little bit time out, like, I'm not saying skip symbiotes at this point, but I'm saying you should probably hold off. One of the 2 new characters, or actually there's 2 new characters coming out, and I understand this is not going to be a free-to-play friendly option based on the data mines. Cloak and Dagger. I do think they might change up who you use for City of Dark Dimension going forward. I'm going to give a shout out to a philosopher because I did reach out to him. He is going to test something for me when Cloak and Dagger come out. Where he's going to test Cloak, Dagger, White Tiger, Moon Knight, and Night Nurse and Dark Dimension 4 and probably 3 also, and just see how they do in City. So that information that could change up. Like, instead of trying to get so many alien spores, it could change up overall. So I just want to throw that guys out there that I'm not saying do that yet, but I'm just saying it's a possibility and it's going to be tested in the near future.
Yeah, definitely let Philosopher do it first, since he's going to have those characters anyway.
Yeah. All right. And one more thing before we move on. Just looking at what he has built up, obviously we talk about Doom Raids. It's one of the things that he wrote in his comments. In bio in general, right, it doesn't get much better than symbiotes. I think you're going to point out that there is like one other option out there, and let's switch to bio real quick. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty much got it, and you're probably going to mention Phyla-Vell, so I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, I use Phyla-Vell on the boss node now in place of Venom, but I also have a G15 5 red Phyla-Vell. So I mean, his symbiotes are going to be his best bet for a while, at least until he builds up Infinity Watch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's doing fine there.
Yeah, so I agree with you. Given his position, I don't think it's in his best interest to deviate off of symbiotes for City. I think he's just going to have to go through, unfortunately, the headache that is Node 12 of Dark Dimension 4. Get through it, get the resources. Once he does, get Carnage finished. It will still be a grind the second time, but it'll be less of a grind. And he actually should be able to one-shot his way the whole way up to that point. All right, so looking at his legendary, it looks like he has Jubilee and Doc Ock done. And it looks like he's setting himself up for Ebony Maw and Phoenix. I mean, would you tell him anything different?
No, not particularly. The other options that he could have are, Shuri, Invisible Woman, Black Bolt. I mean, I personally wish I could use Adam Warlock, but he doesn't have Adam Warlock unlocked.
Yeah,
So
red.
I mean, like what he's got here is, I mean, he's not doing it wrong at all. It's just a matter of, grinding out some gear, and maybe a little bit of ISOs. He's definitely going to want to get more ISOs on that Doc Ock, especially with a 6 red. I would love to see that Doc Ock in the as a level 5. It will really help you sustain. And you ran Jubilee through DD4 and can speak to how good she is.
Yeah. I mean, with one of the things, I mean, like I said, you brought up Doom Raids. I mean, he's going to need these guys at level 5 to run them in Doom Raids, So it's kind of
absolutely.
So Jubilee, Phoenix, Doc Ock, even Ebony Maw, like they're all going to be Doom Raid characters at this moment. Ebony Maw might be getting replaced. I guess I shouldn't say it. He might be getting replaced.
Well, I don't use Phoenix at all in Doom Raids.
Oh yeah, me either. I guess that's the only thing you could. But so like Jubilee and Doc Ock, there's no they're definitely a lock for gear tier or ISO level 5, so you should probably do it. But also you brought up some other things. But looking at his Black Bolt, Shuri, and Invisible Woman, given his Red Star levels, I don't know if I'd even consider them for a 5th. He might be better off just waiting until he gets Adam Warlock unlocked, which is probably another I want to say a month or 2 away from his second rotation, somewhere in that time frame.
Probably, and he quite honestly, once you get through Dark Dimension for the first time, the second time goes so quickly that I think he'll probably still just use the same 4 characters in Legendary. I know that's what I did personally. But I'm just super impressed that he's already in City of DD4 at 5.2 million. I was way over 10 million by the time I was in Dark Dimension 4. So that's really impressive.
Yeah, overall. I guess before we move on to him, let's do take a look at his overall roster, because you brought up a good point with his collection power and everything. So if we collect all, he has been one. I'm just scrolling real quick to see what yeah, so he's done a great job building tall instead of building wide. So he's definitely been content focused, which I think that's a great thing for new and mid game players.
Absolutely, and at this point, he's using Dark Dimension 4 to build out raid teams, which is the right way to go about things.
All right, so Ben Jarrell, overall, man, you are doing an awesome job. Keep it up. Our next up roster review, I would probably butcher this guy's name, all the pieces if I try to pronounce it. So he said, just call him Brophy. So Brophy is looking for help improving his current Ultimus 7.3 team, and then try to look, the future of raids. And then he's currently on DD3, so we're going to take a look at his current DD3 team. He's obviously having struggling with Global. I think everyone does when they go through DD3, and he wants to set himself for DD4. So we're going to take a look at quite a few different things with him. But first, let's start with the base raid team that he's probably using. All right, so we are into Brophy's roster here, and we're looking at the high end of his roster because Ultimate 7 is about putting, the best 5 raid characters together that you possibly can. We don't know what he has unlocked, what he does or doesn't have unlocked at this point, but just on the high end, so he doesn't have to invest a lot in Ultimate 7 and try, because with the investment at this point, right, you want to invest in Doom Raids, if anything. Those are the characters you want to have in mind. But what do you see here, thinking about Ultimate 7 in mind, what does he have?
He has 2 of the 3 best characters of the game as his top 2 characters in Kestrel and Silver Surfer.
All right.
And, you build around that. So right now I'm looking at other cosmic characters, or I'm looking at characters that can pair well with Surfer and Kestrel. And to me, you're looking at somebody like Hela that can spread an ability block. You're looking at somebody that's like Symbiote Spider-Man that's going to give additional defense down. That's going to give Kestrel the extra ping options.
Yeah.
And then realistically, you could go in any number of ways at that point.
Yeah.
Emma Frost for slows, Zemo for extra damage. I don't see Minerva, but Minerva is a great option in Ultimus for some sustain and healing. You can go a lot of different ways. It's just going to be realistically a matter of, what's your base going to be like, and how are you going to build out 4 or 5? Because I mean, he's got the top two, and then realistically, Symbiote, Spider-Man, and Hela pair the best with those of what he's got, and then it's just a matter of which way he needs to go, damage versus sustain.
All right, let's take a look at his roster here. Let's see what I'm gonna go scroll to the bottom just to see what he doesn't have unlocked. That way, give us an idea, because there might be something he could better work on now that help towards the future. But it's looking like, let me see. Obviously, Cloak, Dagger, Deathpool's not unlocked. Jubilee Phoenix. So he does have the Secret Avengers unlocked. Where are they at? There's Maria Hill. There's Sharon Carter, and he's got to find Sam Wilson, Captain America. Which he might have already invested into, because I'm not seeing him yet. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
So he's got him at 3 stars, and we know how good in sustainability they have. Even the stars, you got 4 for Sharon and 3 for Maria Hill. So, and they're all reds, all 3, at least 3 red. So, yep, there we go. So, knowing that the Secret Avengers is like the key to skill lanes and Doom raids, would you recommend that he makes these 3 a priority? Because I don't know how well they do in global. I don't know if anyone's tested them in global Dark Dimension yet, but their synergy and survivability is really good in this game.
Philosopher has been taking the Secret Avengers into Dark Dimension and has had some great success. Now, granted, he has them all maxed out, not at 3 stars, but he's had a lot of success with them. And they are very much power crept forward, or on the front end of the line. So they're going to get naturally more health at 3 stars than most other characters are going to get at 3 stars. And another character that as you're building, he's getting really close to. I see is Deathpool, and probably within the next couple of weeks, with using the event campaign, even as a free to play player, Deathpool can be a nice solo option to toss in there, especially in raids, the way that you can build up her charges. And if there's somebody that is giving you problems within a lane, you just build up those Deathpool charges and then save her ultimate and slaughter them with the Deathpool ultimate, which is doing ridiculous amounts of damage. And in Doom raids can basically one-shot the Doom boss in the Mystic section.
Yeah. All right, so I think that's pretty much it, right? We got these new characters that do a lot of things. He also doesn't have Jubilee unlocked, so I can't really recommend Astonishing X-Men, even though they're all farmable at this point. So he does have the Secret Avengers. Deathpool should be unlocked in the near future. So he does, have some key raid characters that make Ultimus raids, Swiss cheese, would you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, and definitely want to start converting his resources from Hela to Deathpool as soon as possible also. So I think you'll get a bigger bang for your buck now with Deathpool than you would Hela.
For sure, but Hela's a great bridge character that he can use in Ultimus 7.3 tomorrow while he works on building Deathpool.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think he needs to put anything more into Hela to make that possible, correct? She's already 75.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, literally half of the use of Hela is going to be Greg, and the other half is going to be spreading defense down an ability block.
All right, good enough. All right, so let's jump over to the Dark Dimension 3 side of things. So let's filter this first by global. We're not going to try to spend too much time on this, but it looks like he already has Zemo, Ghost, Sinister, and Emma already in Dark Dimension 3. Where would you... Go ahead.
It's the classic Dark Dimension 4 lineup.
Yeah, so he's pretty much already set himself up. They're great Dark Dimension 4 characters. Looking at his roster... where do you see a 5th? I mean, he obviously doesn't need to go too far out to convert these guys over to Dark Dimension 4. I would just let him sit there at 75 until he gets the resources for Dark Dimension 4. Unless he...
honestly, by the time you're getting to Dark Dimension 4, it's going to be Secret Avengers.
Yeah, and his Emma's actually not that... Actually, his Emma's lacking star power. I mean, you should still start ranking Emma up. I mean, milestone orbs are not hard to get. It's just, RNG dependent, but... He should start leveling Emma up over time. So you're saying just throw one of the Secret Avengers on this team, or I'm trying to look at his roster real quick, see if there's
I
someone that
mean,
quick fix.
if he's in there right now, it's a grind, and realistically, the grind is built around Phoenix,
Yeah.
which I don't see in his global at all because he doesn't have her unlocked yet. So I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
realistically speaking, without Phoenix, you know, it's going to be a grind. Even if he wanted to bring up
Yeah.
Ultron, and Ultron would do some decent work in Dark Dimension 3, it's just going to be a matter of sustainability. But again, like I said, in terms of the long term growth, Secret Avengers is going to do a lot for him in raids, and it's going to do a lot for him in Dark Dimension, I feel like. Priority wise, I mean, you really want to have all three, but Sam Wilson is probably going to do the most on his own
Yeah.
because he is very tanky and very survivable and is going to give a lot of speed bar with his ultimate.
Yeah.
So I would prior my ranking in terms of prioritization on that is probably going to be um, Sam Wilson first, and then I would do whichever is your naturally stronger of Sharon Carter or Maria Hill next.
Yeah. The one thing that I noticed while you were talking for him, I think Red Stars is a problem for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's Sinister. You almost need Red Stars on to make sure you get use out of the clone, but at 3 red, I don't know how much use you're getting out of the clone.
it depends on which clone that you're doing,
Yeah.
because if you're cloning somebody that's kit based rather than stat based, then the red stars aren't as big of a deal. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm cloning Mordo, I'm getting blinds and heal blocks and stuns.
Yeah.
I mean, they might not stick, but like if I'm cloning Black Bolt, a Black Bolt at 3 red stars is not going to be nearly as good.
Yeah. All right. So let's summarize this one real quick. Okay, you said Secret Avengers is going to be key to throw, to level them up, get them on for Dark Dimension because they can also cross over to Doom raids. Phoenix is another key. If you get her unlocked, she might be a really good option to plug and play. Plus, you're going to want her for Legendary DD4, correct?
Yeah, I know. I think that's exactly right.
All right. So let's move on to Cosmic. All right. So it looks like he's got Kestrel, Surfer, Hela, almost long shot in Shadow Star if he tries to go that point. But I mean, if he's going for a 6-star Adam Warlock, actually, what do you need? It's probably a 7-star Adam Warlock. You need him at level 75, gear tier 14. Anyways, may not be a bad option. So it seems like he's pretty much set here. For my memory of DD3 Cosmic, it's not really overly difficult, correct?
No, it's not. It's not overly difficult, especially now.
Yeah.
I mean, again, as we were saying earlier, he has two of the three best characters in the game in this section. So I mean, they're going to anchor it out.
I think,
You could build up Infinity Watch. You could build up the Dad Bros for it. I use Dad Bros in DD4, but
yeah,
you go lots of different directions. Death Pool will be great
yeah,
in Dark Dimension 4 and 3.
yeah. I don't think we need to spend much time here. I think he's in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to City. All right, and we got pretty much a standard at this point until we know otherwise. He's got his symbiotes. He's got 3 of them ready to go. He's got the other 2 on the way. Multiman is there as an option once again. Another one you have to for a 7-star Adam Warlock. You have to build him to G13 or 14 anyways. And we go to the
And
bottom.
he doesn't take alien spores, which is a big huge help.
Yeah. And let's see. I mean, that's pretty much it. He doesn't have Doc Ock unlocked, which could be an option, but I don't think Doc Ock's really needed for this.
No, I mean Doc Knock will be needed eventually for Dark Dimension 4 and
Yeah.
for the Doom raids.
Yep.
And then once again we have to eventually mention Cloak and Dagger, who aren't yet out,
Yeah.
but are going to be characters that go kind of in this area. But yeah, no, he's in the right track, and he's got the right 3 of the 5 symbiotes built up first anyway, so he's in good shape.
Any last things you'd like to add to this roster review before I do the outro?
Yeah, I would just say focus on newer characters because even at the lower star power, they're still going to have the stats to match, and it's going to be better long-term value for you. So
Uh,
when in a coin flip situation, always opt for the newer characters.
All right. With that said, guys, we still have 2 more roster reviews coming out this week, so please stay tuned for those. And before we go and give the outro, I'm going to show you guys, if you're interested in how to get roster reviews, how to do that now. Are you interested in having your roster reviewed by Maverick and I in this quick format roster review, helping you out in a game mode or two? If you are, all you need to do is join my Discord. The link to that is in the description down below. Then all you need to do is find the video section, find roster reviews, and there you'll find the latest roster review application where you can submit your request to have your roster reviewed by Maverick and I in a YouTube format. So if you need help clearing any content in the game, don't hesitate, apply today. Alright guys, and that will do it for Maverick and I in this video. If you guys could do us a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here and haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.